talking still in Motivate, I just want to ask you, is there any team buildings or some activities that can help staff to more?
Sure. So we have, in this hotel, we have obviously a staff party every year. We have a staff outing every year.
Mm-hmm.
We have a core sports day, so all the core hotels on the island once a year get together and compete against each other in a whole day in a range of volleyball, soccer, badminton, I mean a number of sports, and obviously we get teams together and we all play each other, have a day so they understand that it's not just our hotel, we have sister hotels on the island. And then each of our HODs, it's up to them to at least take their team out or do things with their teams at least once or twice a year on top of that, right? So yeah, absolutely, we want to try to, because we want to try and make sure that the team not only enjoys the hotel for the work environment, but we also help them to play and have fun as well outside of the work. Particularly, it would be fair to say that, which most of you I think are millennials, right? So millennials to us, you guys, are very much I. What are you going to do for me? Right? Okay? And we understand that. That's the way you've been raised, that's the way you've been taught and the likes. So we're very much about trying to help you or show you what we can do for you. Right? What's in it for me? Whereas the next generation coming on is the centennials, who are those who were born from 2000 onwards. And the oldest centennial now is 18, which means they're going to be coming into our workforce very shortly. And the centennials, the difference with the centennials is that they're not about I anymore, they're about us. What are you doing for us? Not what are you doing for me? Right? And the centennial is all about how can you make me a better me? Right? So as leaders, we're starting to have to think about how do we interact and motivate, because what motivates you as a millennial doesn't motivate a centennial. Right? So we're having to think about how we motivate the two different types of people. Plus, we also have people like me, Generation X, right, who are completely different motivators. So we can't put one size fits all when we're thinking about motivating our team. We have to look about who are you, what are you, and what's the things that will motivate you. So, for instance, if I gave you a power bank, right, as a gift, you would probably love that because you'll get great use out of your power bank because you're on your phone a lot. But if I gave a power bank to a Gen X, I'd probably give it to my children because I'm not going to get huge use out of it because I don't spend hours upon hours on my smartphone, right? So when we're thinking about gifts or motivating our team, we're also thinking about what generation do you come from so that I can tap into you and motivate the things that mean the most to you.
Do you have any goal settings?
Yeah. Every single staff member that's in this hotel have what we call KPIs, which is a key performance indicator. You are set at least 3 goals that you need to achieve within the year. And according to the achievements of those goals, you will be rewarded accordingly. And so everyone in this hotel can earn more bonus if they've achieved their goals. And so we want them to be motivated to drive and succeed and be the best they can be, because obviously they're the ones delivering the service to our guests. And if we deliver it correctly, then we should make more revenue and we should have higher occupancies. And if we have higher occupancy and more revenue, it equates to more service charge, but it also equates to getting rewarded for driving that additional revenue to the hotel.
And the next question is like, I know that many hotels they have problem with every department, but can you give me for this hotel, which departments have more lots of like problem with the guest complaints?
No, you know, look, I mean, most hotels, it's absolutely right. We all have the same problems, right? The rooms aren't cleaned well enough. The breakfast is too busy. Reservations didn't communicate well enough with front desk, and when the guest arrives at the front desk, I was told I could have a twin room. I'm sorry, we can't give you a twin room. So, but really at the end of the day, it all boils down to two things. One, are the team giving sajai?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they are, then we wouldn't have dirty rooms. Secondly, are the teams trained well enough? So we spend a lot of time on training the staff to make sure they know exactly the standards that we want to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
And we spend a lot of time on communication. Because when we live by the culture of sajai, it's not about just delivering sajai to the guest who stays here. It's about delivering it to your fellow colleague as well. Right? So we spend a lot of time talking about communication because, I'll give you an example. In this hotel, whoever the guest speaks to about needing something in this hotel, it's their responsibility to make sure it happens. In most hotels, what happens is the guest comes to the front desk and they say, I need 2 apple juices and an orange juice in my minibar. And then the GSA rings minibar and says, room 604 needs 2 orange juices and an apple juice. Now, at that moment in time, the GSA goes, my job's done. I told minibar to do it. And then the guest comes back and it's not done. Who's responsible or whose fault is it? Well, in most hotels, it's the minibar's fault because they didn't do it. In this hotel, it's the GSA's fault because you didn't follow up with minibar and make sure that it got delivered so that the guest was taken care of. And so we really try to push responsibility down to the person that is the face to the guest. Whoever the guest speaks to, it is your responsibility to make sure, yes, you use the other teams to get whatever needs to be done, but it's your responsibility to go and make sure, did it get done? Have you done it? And then I can go back to the guest and tell the guest, it's been done. So you cannot say my job's done just because you go and tell someone, can you please do that? You have to follow up. Is it done? Check. Have you delivered? Yes, I have. And of course, we use our smartphones. So in that case, what would happen is the minibar would go and put the minibar in the room. They would take a photo to show they've done it, and they would send it back to the GSA to say minibar has been completed in that room. Right? So it's just taking that communication, because if we do this, then we'll all be held responsible for making sure that we look after each other's team. And hopefully reduce the conflict between departments, and hopefully reduce the amount of guest complaints coming in certain areas of the hotel.
Okay, so coming up to the last question, just give us some example problem that you have seen in each department.
Okay, so if I start with engineering, the number one problem for engineering is that the salt air that comes off the Andaman Sea, because we're exposed on the headland, is huge. Right? We are constantly, whether it be machinery being rusted, whether it be wood being deteriorated, because the salt air is just getting onto the material and just obviously deteriorating, right? So engineering spends a lot of their time having to spend constantly dealing with rust in the hotel, right? So that's the biggest issue that they face. Housekeeping, it's logistical because the laundry is down here near the road, but most of the guest rooms are at the top of the resort, which means logistically every day I've got to carry laundry and linen up and down and up and down and up and down, and a lot of the slopes are quite high, right? Compared to say a hotel that's like goes like that, the laundry's at the bottom, but you just get in the elevator and you go up to that level and then you put it out, right? So housekeeping in this hotel is very physically demanding, right? And it's extreme hard work logistically because there's a lot of pieces that have to go into that puzzle to make it work. Food and beverage, it's about capacity. When we're at full house in this hotel, there's 500 to 600 guests in the hotel, but there's only 150 seats in the restaurant for breakfast. So 150 doesn't go into 500 or 600 guests. So obviously theirs is about logistics of how do we get all of our guests through breakfast without having too many queues. For front office, when you arrive at this hotel, in most hotels, when you drive onto the driveway, you walk through the front doors and then you're in your lobby and that's the reception. In this hotel, you come to the front of the hotel, you then have to make your way all the way up to the lobby drop-off. Then you get out of the lobby drop-off, you've got to walk across the bridge, you've got to go up some stairs till you get to the lobby. So again, it has a big logistical of how do we make sure that the guest feels welcome from the moment they arrive, even though it'll take them a while to get to our reception. Right? And if it's a bus coming, all those guests get dropped down near the front entrance of the hotel, and we have to be able to use cars to bring them up. So again, we have 9 vehicles that the bellmen use to transport guests around this hotel. And funny enough, the Western guest loves walking through the hotel or loves walking through the rainforest and don't mind the slopes. Asian guests do not walk because you don't want to get your sunburn, right? Because you want to keep yourself white, as opposed to the Westerners, we want to keep ourselves brown, right? So again, you're dealing with logistics of getting guests around this hotel.
What about HR?
No, HR, they're logistics. As I call HR in any hotel, they're the firefighters. Their job is to put out fires in the hotel with the staff, whether it be 2 staff having a fight or these 2 were girlfriend and boyfriend, and now this one's come on the scene, and all of a sudden this one and this one, all the time. And particularly when you've got staff quarters where they're seeing each other all the time and interacting with each other all the time, you constantly have issues. Or this person don't like each other because he lives on one side of the road and he lives on the other side of the road or whatever. So they're constantly, because you're dealing with humans. And as humans, we're all different, right? And what I like and what you like are completely different. Yeah, I'm trying to bring you all together to all go in the same direction. And so HR spends most of their time dealing with the human side, the emotion. Oh, my boyfriend's left me. He's run off with one of the girls from reception. Huh?
And a little bit more questions about target market. Like are you focusing on what kinds of either couples or families?
Yeah, look, I have to say that this hotel probably lends itself more to couples. Right? It's not that we're family friendly, we're just not family focused. We don't go out there pushing ourselves as a family hotel because the slopes in this hotel don't lend itself to small children. Right? And the feel and the vibe that this hotel is trying to create is one of quite relaxed and serenity. And for that reason, I don't want kids running around going, ah! While you've got other guests trying to lie there having peace and quiet, right? So everyone is welcome, but our target market would definitely be couples and couples focused. And in this hotel at the moment, we're trying to create some areas just like that where we have adults only pools. You have to be over the age of 16 to be in that area. But we also have kids clubs, and we're just developing a teens club scenario where they will be able to go hang out in their own area too. Right?
And what kind of what's the challenge now for the
I mean, as I said to you guys, I mean, the two main dominant nationalities onto this island is Chinese and Russian. It is.
From what until now, or
look, Russia was very strong for a long time and then it dropped off, but now it's coming back again. And China has really only opened up in the last 4 years. But it's going to continue because if you think that, with a population of 8 billion or whatever it is, and only at this moment 6% of the population has a passport, and they say that we're going to be at 12% of the population within the next 2 years, that means double what's coming now is going to continue to come. Wow, that's super scary to think that that's what's going to happen. So China is going to dominate not only Thailand, the world over, as far as tourists are concerned. Right? But the normal markets like Germany, France, Australia, and the rest of Europe will still continue to travel because Thailand will always be considered a relatively safe country to go. Even when you guys have bombs going off in this country, they're normally not targeted at tourists. It's targeted at your own people, right? So, and it's generally politically motivated, right? And most of us know that as tourists. So we feel relatively safe in Thailand. And because of that feeling, tourists will continue to come to this country.
Is there any organization charts in which
Yep.
you place somewhere? Because when I walk here, we didn't see.
Yeah, we don't place them anywhere. We don't need to do that, right? We try to run this hotel as a flat structure. You'll see that I have a shirt on that says Pool Boy.
Yeah.
Right? The reason I have that shirt is to remind the staff that I'm like them. I'm just one of them. Our job is to deliver great service to the guests, including me. So I'm happy to pick up bags, drive cars, pick up plates, and do everything that you do, if that's what we need to do to deliver service. So we don't like showing hierarchy structures. We want to try and stay flat. But of course, we do have structures because you've got to know who reports to who, but those structures are given to the people that it needs to be given to when they first arrive to the hotel so that they can understand who is in what positions. We much prefer, and you can see if you look over here, we have a much stronger focus on our core values: guest passion, sustainable performance, trust, innovation, spirit of conquest, and respect. We concentrate way more on that than telling our team who's the leader, who's the second leader, who's the third leader. We're all leaders. We all have a job to do, and we need to get out there and deliver it using these. Okay? And you can see in the middle here, we clearly identify to our team what we're trying to do. Why are we here? We're here to create a resort guest love. That's what we're about. Who does that? All of us. We call staff in this hotel connectors. Okay? How do we do that? By engaging and empowering our connectors to reach out and make a difference for each and every guest. Okay? So we really concentrate on helping each one of our team to understand. And this you'll see in our HR. So when a staff member or potential staff member comes to apply for a job, that is the first thing they're going to see even before they start with us. It's there where they're filling out all their forms. That is sitting there. And then this is where I have a meeting with my leadership team every morning. And that is there to remind our leaders that's how we live in this hotel.
Before, can I just have some photo or taking photo of organization chart? Or is it in the computer?
Yeah, it's in the computer, but today's a public holiday. I think Kunawan, our finance, was the person that set it up.
She's not with my mom.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I will get Kunawan to send a structure, hotel structure to you, so you can have that. Yeah. No worries. If I haven't sent it to you in a week, can you get your mum to remind Kunawan? It means I forgot.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So I don't have a problem sharing with you. It's just I forgot. Yeah.
Okay. That's it for our video.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
But before that, we have some a small gift
Oh.
for you.